All right, guys. So bar stories continued. Okay, this is more on actually that that one time I walked into a bar and found that fat wad of cash. Okay, I have more to talk about with that actually. So okay, so continuing on, that whole thing, that bartender Luke or whatever. He didn't end up staying at that establishment very long, so I kind of replaced him. Actually, he was like an assistant manager, actually he was the owner's personal assistant. And then Kyle became the personal assistant, and then I became the personal assistant, and Kyle was in management, and then I was in the office, and so it was just some rotation there, but I just wanted to say, okay, I kind of started taking over the happy hours in that area of Miami Beach, right? And that bar was just a lot of fun, and it was very busy, and it was the best experience I ever had being a bartender because I actually got formal training as a bartender, and I learned things that most bartenders don't know. And so, every good bartender knows what I know, at least, right? And so, when that incident happened, okay, uh, one of the locals that was there, and I will not say his name, but we'll just call him A, okay? A was a very nice man, okay, and he was a Scotch addict, and he was one of the most funny, boisterously loud, hilarious people I'll ever meet in my life. I don't think I've ever met anybody that has made me laugh harder than A, okay. And A was, a descendant of, a certain country's actual, like, royal line. Okay, he had inheritance, and he had establishment, and he had all this stuff. Okay, he was a very interesting character, and it became one of my best friends actually, and very rich person, by the way. Okay, and by the way, when I would take care of him during happy hours, nobody ever took care of me more than A. Okay. A would leave me 80, 20, $100 tip, okay, just at the end of every happy hour, okay? And, a year or two later, and, even now, I do realize, I believe that $700 wad of cash that I found was indeed A's, okay? And furthermore, I do think that when, in fact, on that first day, the first day I met him, that was when I first met him, I was asking him if the cash was his, and, I'm not sure if he told me the truth. I do not know. I think he knew that the cash was his, and he never claimed it. But, after seeing that honesty and whatever, like, he liked about me, okay, he did indeed, employ me for years, even as a tech expert and consultant and doing things for him online and stuff. A lot happened between that, and, A ended up financially supporting me and all his friends, for years during happy hours. So, guys, it does pay to be honest, it pays.